He's like, would you suck a dick a week for $100,000 a year? I said, yes. No, like, no question about it.
100,000 a year is definitely not enough.
It's not enough for you to suck. That's only 52 dick sucks. You get basically $2,000 a week.
But you just the repeatedness of it, dude. Like, if I was a woman or if I was gay, I'm all in. I dread going to work now. Imagine if that was your job and you got to go to work next week.
Dude, I would bang it out. I would just be like, all right, let me try and get like 10 done a day. I would just up front do a week of work, suck 52 dicks in a week, and have 51 weeks where I get $100K to do whatever I want. I'm not swallowing, though. You're that afraid of a...
Yeah, I am. I really am. Ugh.
You know, you're probably not worth that. You're probably not that good.
No, not even.
Like,
no,
I don't think you could.
I would be the worst because I would hate my job. I would.
Yeah, I don't think like you can give a $700 million blowjob.
There's no way my number is worth the blowjob that you're going to get from me.
Yeah, because I'd be spending the money on a therapist just to get over it.
Seriously, because I can't stop thinking about, like, all right, man, got to go to work in 3 days.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking, like, for the therapy, like, I think you'll get re-traumatized if you'd have to do it week after week.
It is time, finally, for the Comic Book Community Awards 2023, where we will come down and celebrate these great content creators on YouTube. This thing that has been a year in the making is finally upon us, and a pimp named Slaughter could not be more excited to share this night with you, his comic book brothers and sisters, as we push this comic book culture into the digital age, baby. Now, I know we're a diverse bunch of people. Some people think things have gone too woke. Some people think it ain't woke enough. You know, our debates about these things are funny to me. We act like the fate of the multiverse depends upon our arguments that we're having. But none of these things matter. I know they're fun. I know many of us say we don't want drama, but we click like quick. We love to talk about is DC better than Marvel? Are independent books better? Is this movie too woke? You might have voted for this guy, you might have voted for that guy, but tonight none of that matters because there's space in this comic book tent for all of us. And that's the beautiful thing about this comic book hobby. Because I want to remind y'all of one thing. Our differences are like these variant covers that we like to buy so much. Yes, that cover on the outside is different than the one that I bought. But if you open up that book and look inside, it's the same story. And our story is a love for comic books. And that's what tonight is all about. So set your culture wars aside and let's just focus on the one thing that unites us all in this diverse, divided world. And that is the wonderfulness, the beautifulness of this comic book hobby and this comic book medium. And the
haters gonna hate.
Butts.
What up? What up? What up? It is Tuesday once again, and we are back for another FOC and chill. It is Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. Everybody got everything that they had hoped for and dreamed of, and that they got to spend some quality time with family. I know I did. I did not get a Switch. I know I've been telling everybody I wanted to get a Switch. The Switch did not come through for me, but a Switch came through for my kids. So technically I got a Switch. So I'm not going to have control of that Switch, but when the kids go to bed, it's going to be my world. So look for me on Mario Kart here soon. I've already got my online Nintendo Online. I think my username is Circum, SURCAM, because circumstance was too long, I guess. Hit me up on there. I don't know what games to buy yet. I know I want to get Zelda, but other than that, I'm not quite sure. I mean, obviously Mario Kart, because that's what the low grades and Lady Fantastic and all of them are playing. Shout out to Lady Fantastic who came through and entertained us last week. It was a slow week, that Christmas week, but she came through and made it hot for us. So thank you to Caroline for coming through. Really appreciate you. We'll see what we got going on this week. I know, Christmas is we're still in holiday mode. I know I am. But link is in the chat if anybody wants to get in the mix and see, what's going on with you. What's going on in these comic book streets? There we go. It's pinned in the chat. I got just essentials, nothing real big. I got some socks and some sweats, but things I needed. I'm grown. That's how it goes. Check out my shirt though. The couple that nerds together stays together. I thought that was a little cool shirt I made. If you like that shirt, you can buy that shirt. Link is in the description as well as in the chat. If you're interested in that, I might as well just throw that out there. Why not? Why not? So, what's going on with y'all? Let's get to the chat here. We got Las Cruces, my man, coming in from New Mexico. What's up, homie? Appreciate you coming through as always, giving me the click. It's a big deal that you give your time, and I appreciate it, man. TM Nerdy in the house, the biggest supporter, award winner, my man Travis, hardest working man in YouTube. I appreciate you. I know taking a little break here, but a well-deserved break. I got my fingers crossed for you, Travis. Everything is going to go your way, man. You deserve it. And I used to not believe in kind of existential, kind of spiritual things, but the older I get, the more I not necessarily believe in them, but open my mind to them. But I've kind of attached myself to the idea that your thoughts have power, and having negative thoughts creates negative realities, and having positive thoughts creates positive realities. So having positive thoughts for you, Travis, man. Definitely having straight positive thoughts for you. Everything's going to work out for you. Well, Boar, what's up, my man? Thanks for coming through. Happy FOC and chill day. Happy Boxing Day. I appreciate you taking your time here. We got my guy aggressively relaxing. What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you coming through, man. Always good to see you. We got my man from across the pond, DVH. What's up, homie? That's my guy right there. Funny guy. Check him out. If you're not plugged in on YouTube, definitely give him a look. And if you haven't hit that like button, lovingly caressed that like button, guys. Help me out with the algorithm. I'm just a little channel here. I'm not one of these big wigs pushing 2,000 subs, but I do appreciate all the help you guys give me. We got Frog Brawler in the house. What's up, my dude? I got that Cherry, and I see you getting a little more active online, so that's cool, man. I really like it. Check him out. He's been posting some videos. He's been dibbling, dabbling here. I think he's gonna dive in here soon. What up, homies? Oh, never enough Phils. What's up, Phil's Treehouse? That's my guy right there. I missed your appearance on Spine Ticks, but definitely check him out. I might try and catch the replay. It's so late. I just can't stay up that late anymore. I'm old and I work so early, and I worked that weekend, so it was pretty impossible for me to stay up. But I'm sure it was a good time. I miss those times, man, Phil. I really do. Back in the day on Spine Ticks, when we'd go for the 6-hour marathon all night. And I'd carefully schedule my life so that I could hang out one night, every couple months. I'd be like, all right, this is the night. All right, you got to do this in the morning with the kids, because I had to specifically schedule everything so that I didn't have responsibilities when I woke up in the morning. But it was all worth it, man. Good times, man. Sorry that whole thing broke down the way it did. What else we got in here? We got Bobby. What's up, Bobby? Good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Happy Boxing Day, FOC and chill day. Did anybody do any shopping? I know that's a European thing, right? DVH. You go shopping. I know there's football on Boxing Day. One of my homies was doing some gambling. I got a gambling degenerates chat, and one of them is a soccer gambler. So he was getting down today with all the games with Liverpool and everybody. We got Evil Mike. That's my guy. Good to see you, man. What's up, brother? Appreciate you coming through. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and all of the homies coming through. I got some heavy competition tonight. I know Swaggle Haas is doing his year-end show right now, and I was sitting over there listening to him, and I was thinking about one of the ways in which I'm just like really different from your normal comic book collector. I feel like, whereas whenever especially with Swaggle Haas, but there's a lot of channels that are like that where they're talking about like big money comic book market, comic book investment kind of things, which are just like I think that's cool and interesting. Like, is Fantastic Four worth this much or that much? I think it's all interesting, but it's not really the focus of my comic book collecting hobby. I'm really just. And I was thinking, I was like, I feel like I felt like I was at the kiddie table listening to the grown-ups talk at the grown-up table as they talk about these big boy books and all this, because I'm like, I'm having fun collecting my modern, books. My Something is Killing the Children. I'm having fun really enjoying these books that, not everybody gives a shit about, like Tyler Crook's The Lonesome Hunter. It's a really cool book that's not really getting a lot of buzz. Barbaric, which is a cool book that's getting a little buzz. But, I'm enjoying these. Like, what did I just read? Oh, The Deviant. Have you guys read The Deviant? I finally read the first 2 issues of The Deviant, and that motherfucker is awesome. I love it. And it's like, this is why I love James Tynion, because I just feel like I feel like we think the same way. We think about things the same way. We obsess about thinking about things the same way. And like when I read his writing, it's just like, yeah, dude, I love this. I'm feeling this. And The Deviant has this really awesome horror mystery kind of feel to it, but it also has this awesome, like, ready for TV kind of feeling for it. Like this thing is ready to directly port into a TV show or movie or whatever it may be. Uh-oh, we got DVH, maybe.
Yep. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
What up, DVH? What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad. I'm just popping on just because you started talking about The Deviant.
Yes.
It's really good. I
It's
really like it. I felt like they slowed it down in typical Tynan fashion, the second book, which is a bit of a shame. But that first book has some of the best slasher bits like I've ever read in a comic. Like it's like frame by frame how you would do a slasher sequence in a movie.
Yeah,
in a good movie too.
That's what I'm saying. It is ready to pour it right over, right? Like it's built to go on the screen already. That doesn't need to really be. And I just love the books, the way the books look and feel, just the way they look and feel before you even open them up. They just look gorgeous to me. I am loving that book. And that's where I'm like, I'm not really worried about spending. I mean, definitely not worried about spending thousands of dollars on a comic book slab. Like I could not give a fuck. Like, would it be cool to own one? Yeah, it'd be really cool. But like, am I trying to spend that money to own one? Hell no, man. Hell no.
Yeah,
where are you at on all that?
Well, with The Deviant, for instance, I think I think it's a good spec pick, but I don't see really anything coming from it other than it being like a good one-off story. Like this isn't a story that's going to continue. I wouldn't think it'd be like a 6 issue and done, won't it? And then, I mean, I guess it could be picked up for for TV. It could work.
But I'm not really. That's the thing, though. Is like I don't care if it does, because like the thing about
it doesn't have to.
Even if it does get picked up, right? We're not going to see it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like these things are years and years and years away.
Even if it gets picked up, there's no guarantee anybody's doing anything with it anyway. The amount of stuff that's being, but Hollywood throws money at stuff all the time, and it rarely makes it even to a pilot stage, let alone a feature movie. It's just
think about like, so I'm a COVID baby, as Comic Journey put it. So I came in late 2020 and early 2021. And think about all the things that have been optioned since then. None of them have come out. Like the things that have come out the things that have come out were all options before that. Like Sweet Tooth was optioned before that. Jupiter's Legacy was before that. All of the things that were optioned right around that time. Shadecraft, I remember, was optioned right around that time. Obviously, Something Is Killing the Children was optioned just before that in late 2020. But not a single one of those things is on the screen. So like the way in which we hear option news and then run out and get it as if it's some sort of rush kind of I need it right now thing is crazy. It's absolutely crazy because we're talking, you could be a decade away from actually seeing anything come to fruition from that.
Yeah, the
That
only
book,
one I can think of is maybe Paper Girls. When was that?
that book never has any, that book doesn't have any value right now. What's the number
Oh
one?
no, it completely fell off. But like it did actually come to fruition on Amazon. Like so, the book is in the toilet now because that show did nothing and they cancelled it after the first season. But what I'm saying is, it was like it did actually make it through to the point of like a full show being made.
Yeah, but I think that was actually optioned before. I'd have to be checked on that, but I think that was optioned before all that as well. Because again, it takes so long for it to become something, and then it becomes something, and it may not even be like what I think about all the time is like Something Is Killing the Children 5-6 years from now, maybe 4 years. You know, it actually hits the screen and it like goes nowhere, right? Like no one gives a shit. Like I fully expect that to happen. Actually, you know, like why? What would make like even Sweet Tooth, which did well, isn't really, you know, that big of a deal.
I think Something Is Killing the Children is more valuable right now than when eventually it does hit, unless it blows up. Like it has to really blow up.
Yeah,
because if it just comes out,
I honestly don't think it will.
that first book is going to nosedive in value. Even though, like, I'd like one. I'd love a first print.
I'm ready. So a lot of the stuff is going down in value now. Really, it's not cratering by any means, but it is down. And I have gone and picked up a few things. I'm to the point where I just need a first print 1, first print 5, and a first print 7 is all I need. And I'm
wow, yeah, that's
so close. Yeah, I'm so close. But that first print 1, that's the one. Like people talk about, oh, that book's gonna crater. Can't wait, dude. I'm gonna buy fucking 6 of them when it does. I swear.
Yeah, if it ever does, I'm definitely getting one.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy 6 of them when it does. I can't wait for that damn thing to crater. Like, because I'm not living this like financial market, like CNBC buy, sell life with comics. And honestly, it's a dumb way. I think it's a dumb way to look at comics because I think unless you're talking about like Fantastic Four first appearance, you know, some, you know, the crazy books they're gonna go up and down, but they're always gonna be worth a lot of money. But if you're playing that game with these modern books, it's absurd. It's really absurd.
It's very absurd now. Like I can see how it happened in the COVID era because the whole market exploded and everything. Like,
it was absurd then, though. It was absurd then, though.
You could get a fresh book, get it a 9A, and then sell it for $100. You can't do that now. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're playing the flip game, in the short term, there's definitely money to be made in that game in the short term. But there's no money really to be made in the long term. So, if you're playing the short-term flip game, get these people who saw it, Comic Tom, talk about it, and now they need it. If you can get their money, then because I've talked about the strategy. Like, if you have these things that hit the list or they come out and they're really hot and you really want it, but it's overpriced because there's not enough of them, just wait 6 months and you can get one. Whatever it is.
It's very, very rare that it retains the sort of value it gets in that sort of sweet spot space.
Hey,
Beneath the Trees. Have you read that? Beneath the Trees.
I want one. I missed out on this one. I want it. Obviously, I'm not going to go overpay for a number 1, but I
that's it. One. Like it's exploded right now, but like that'll drop down eventually, and you'll be able to get it. Like it will,
Absolutely.
but it is really good too. Like that's the other thing. It's a load of fun.
There are exceptions to that rule. Like some books blow up and they stay blow up, but it's like 1%. Like it's a very, very small percentage.
Yeah.
The most of them are going to be worth less than 6 months, and they might be worth nothing in 6 months. And that's why, like, for us, like, I've said this before, but like, I don't chase these option things and these things of this sort, but I do chase the things that I get excited about. And I just let myself overindulge myself and really support it in every single way. Like, so if when Barbaric comes out, I'm dumb. I'm just buying it. If Billy the Kid, which is a book I'm obsessed with, that I buy everything for, which will never be worth any. I mean, who knows, but probably will never be worth anything. But I will buy the fuck out of it because it's what I love and it's what I want to support. And I'm just pouring my money into those things that I want to see.
I think if you don't do it that way, it's gonna become pretty hollow pretty quickly. Like if you're just on the spec on everything.
This is the point. This is the point.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing this hot option news, gotta have it. I want to have the high of having the hot book of the moment game. That's where you're going to lead to, is this sort of disappointment. You're never going to fill your hole with that game. I feel like unless you can fill your hole with that game if you're one of the sharp players who is selling the book when it hits the list, buying it back when it goes off the list, and vice versa. Like if you wanted to keep a book but you saw it was on the list, you could sell that thing knowing you can get it back for less than 6 months later and have a profit in the end.
Yeah.
Like, right. Just knowing it without even worrying about it one single bit, this is true. And that's just how the game works. And the fact that there's so many people, so many grown-ups still playing this hot news game is crazy to me, because like we're not kids in the 90s excited reading The Wizard, right? We're not teenagers who don't.
I think it's a different thing though, isn't it? Like I think those people that do that enjoy the act of doing that rather than the comics. You see what I mean? Like they're it's a bit like gambling. Like they're chasing a possibility and they love the discussion of it, and that's where it comes from.
I don't even know. I don't know what that means. I feel like he's making fun of me, but I don't know how he's making fun of me. I'm sure he'll explain. I only buy books on Comic Tom's list to avoid ever failing as well.
I wonder if anybody's ever actually done that. Just bought what Comic Tom talked about.
There absolutely has to be. And this is the thing that I think about. Like who are these people? Because they have to exist, because the numbers don't lie, right? When you see that these things hit the list and the numbers go up, somebody's doing that. And
but they use percentages. That's the thing with Comic Tom's rundowns and stuff. He can make something sound like it's shifting when it could like maybe sold one book, and just because that's like a 300% markup because none sold the week before, or say 2 sell, 3 sell. You know what I mean? It's like they make it sound like epic, but really it's probably just shifting 2 or 3 books, and it's a coincidence.
Man, I don't have a single. Actually, I do have one because I won one somewhere. What is it? I think it was the Legion loot box. Actually, I think I got. So I do have one Spider Boy, but yeah, I never bought into the Spider Boy hype. I do really like his suit though; he does look cool. But like the idea that is the new Miles Morales, I mean, highly unlikely. And yes, Billy the Kid was great, and I love the author Justin Gray. I'm a fan. Like that's what I've really done in this game, is I attach myself to talent, to artists and writers. Is what I don't attach myself to the value of books. I attach myself to I want to have.
I'm really attached to Daniel Warren Johnson at the moment. Like especially Do a Power Bomb. I love that book so much.
Lots of people are. I really enjoyed him. I thought that Beta Ray Bill was fun. I really enjoy his art. I don't enjoy him as much as other people do. Not to say I don't enjoy him. I just the level is not where everyone else is. But I do really like him. I do collect all of his stuff. He's good enough to where it's like, yeah, if he's doing it, I'm in. But I don't love him like some do. Like what was it? Do a power bomb was, it was cool, but it wasn't like incredible like a lot of people made it out to be.
I mean, I think as I'm such an I have been at least an obsessive wrestling fan. That was the first thing that I've ever felt really captured why I love wrestling, even though it's really like it places it in a different world and gives me the feels because what happens in it and everything.
I think another thing about that is I read that book after I had read the Aftershock book. What was it? Hell in a Cell. And Hell in a Squared Cell is what it was called. Did you read that one from Aftershock? It was one of the it was one of the magazine formats. And I kind of liked that. Not kind of. I did like that book better than
that's interesting.
So it's the same wrestling thing, so it's worth checking out if you like that.
Yeah, I'll have a look for that. What's the one that I've read? I got it signed the other day from the author. Oh bollocks!
Babito.
Crimson Cage. Crimson Cage by John Lee
and Alex Cormack. That is another one I absolutely loved.
Yeah, it's really good. Really, really good.
Book was really good. I raved about that book all over my channel at the time. That was back when I still did videos like that. But yeah, highly. If you're into wrestling books, that's a must one. It's
really cool.
Macbeth, and the art really works for that story that they're telling. 1000% agree on that one. So that was some dope wrestling books from DVH. Any other ones that you can think of? I know you're a huge wrestling fan.
Not really. They're the only two that really stand out. I mean, I Do a Powerbomb really is heads and tails above everything else to me. But I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. It could not be me, Bobby. It's possible.
Good to see you, Bobby, Mr. Kansas City Collecting. We got Norin Rad in the house. We got my guy, Mark. I love you, Mark. Thanks for coming through, brother, in the chat. I've been ignoring the chat, so I definitely want to say what's up to everybody. What's up, Evil Mike in the house? Who else did I miss in here? Oh, Chop and Drop. I missed Chop and Drop. What's up, Chop? Good to see you. Dracula came through and said, "What's up? What's up, my man?" What are you guys thinking about comic book collecting? Is it like, are you one of these people who are playing the like market watch? It was like Sleeping Comics channel before he switched to NFT. I used to watch his channel. He's really good, like really good. He's got that like CNBC, like I know what I'm talking about vibe. So he's really good. And before he did NFT, he would do more comic books, and it was just crazy how much it sounded like like a CNBC market watch kind of thing to me.
Right.
When we're talking about comic books. But that's just, but I don't have disposable income like that. I don't know even if I did, I still don't think I would play that game though.
Well, I mean, it happens in every hobby, really. Like pro wrestling fans, I say fans, but there'll be discussions at length about ratings, about all the different, how the companies draw and stuff like that, which really has nothing to do with like how good the product is and whether it's actually an entertaining TV show, but all they care about which demographic is the one that's drawing the most and stuff like that. It's sort of the same, like it's a numbers based fandom that I don't quite understand, but I do understand it is interesting. Like I get that it's interesting, but it's not why I watch wrestling or read comics, if you see what I mean, or collect comics even. Like I'm not too worried about how much they're worth. I mean, I'd like to think that my comics will, retain the value that they have, but Oh,
I won't. I have no expectations of my comics retaining value, but I play the modern. I collect modern books, so I have no expectations that my books will be worth anything. What up, Mark? How you doing? What up, fan? How we doing in the Legion household?
He said, "How are you doing?"
Good.
I'm still cracking up on this show today.
Ew, steak, yum.
You said something about high stakes, totally different, and he was like, "Steaks, yummy."
And he had walked off before it happened too, so he was out of cam, out of mind. You just hear that comment. As soon as I saw that in the chat, I just pictured that from y'all's perspective. Like, yeah, that was
it was hilarious, dude. I was cracking up. It was on point. What's up with you, man? Are you have any thoughts about the market watch discussion about comic books?
Yeah, dude. Like when y'all started talking about it, like I was currently on Comic Tom's top 10 list and eBay simultaneously investing in my children's future because, as you know, I only shop books on the Comic Tom hot list. And I got to tell y'all, like it's worked out for me. Ever since then, I could buy hats. I've got all these collectibles thanks to flipping these modern new books that hit the list. I highly suggest everyone take his advice. And to Dr. Von Hoot's like comments, like,
it's not fair to call it advice.
But when has percentages never been accurate? You know what I mean? DVH. I mean, a percentage like 300% is 300%. It just is. It just is.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I am wrong there, but it implies something that doesn't tally. Like that 300% sounds impressive, but it's three of them.
300% never been not impressive in my book.
Broad Brawler's trying to get money from his books.
I'm with you, Comic Tom.
Dude, I think, in all sincerity, I think that kind of stuff is always fun within your means. I don't necessarily mean your financial means. I mean, like, your capabilities. Like, are you somebody who's set up to be able to sell? Is that something that you do for fun? Is that something that your livelihood and your bills being paid is contingent on? If it is, you better be knowledgeable of the hobby. Like, old books have better yield new books. You got to move them fast. It's all very basic. I mean, you can play risky games with it, but it is very basic. You know, blue chip books are blue chip books. If you get them for a good price, sell them. If you don't, you're not going to sell them. You know, it's really that simple. It's just buy low, sell higher than you bought. It's just a tale as old as time whenever selling anything in life.
I am curious about these people flipping books on Whatnot. Like,
with what? I'm sorry.
These people flipping books on Whatnot, like their strategies. How are they buying books on the cheap? You know,
my dude, they're not that. And I've said this before. For every one good Whatnot seller, there's 20 cringy sellers. I'm not calling them bad people or bad intention. They're just cringy because they're definitely not getting books at a price that they can afford to sell them at a fair market price. A lot of the shoppers on Whatnot do not know any better. And I know that because I go over there and window shop or bounce around or go watch a live stream of somebody I'm trying to support and then look around after that kind of thing. And I'm watching people buy books for more than they're worth. A simple look at eBay or a simple look at mycomicshop.com or any other resource to buy comics will show you they're paying too much or they're getting scammed with grab bags. And you have like that Spider-Man booth with getting these female sellers on there, like just pumping up these bags saying, oh, look, this is an $80 ceiling. And it's like a $20 bag of books that you just got for $60. Like they're absolutely tricking people with MSRP prices versus FMV prices. It's super cringe. And that comes from that mindset of like, make the hobby fund itself. That's not a thing. Some people can do that. They have the means to do that, but that's not, you don't go buy a car thinking I better buy two so I can make my car fund itself. Like, the fuck is that? Make the hobby fund itself. What the fuck other hobby you got that is contingent on you selling in it to be able to do it? Doesn't make sense.
I think any hobby where you accumulate as many books, like that has to be a part of it though, right? Where you can't keep everything.
No, and that's a different mindset. Like, I'm out of space, I have to get rid of this. That's a whole different mindset than, oh, I got to sell these because I want to buy comics, so I got to sell comics to buy comics. That's drug dealer talk. That's not comic talk.
Don't get high off your own supply.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People do dumb stuff on Whatnot in terms of buying books. I only ever use Whatnot to search for something. You know, the thing that I don't like about Whatnot, and the reason why I don't really get into it too much is like I don't care about most books. You know, like the things that I'm interested in is very specific. I don't have a wide, so like I'm sitting around with a bunch of books I don't give a shit about most of the time. So that's
And
why
this
I don't really
sounds
care.
weird, but I think there's too many giveaways. I think that's super boring because most of the stuff that people are giving away isn't stuff that anybody wants to begin with. Like
Yeah,
people
it's
like
just
to win stuff, but like I mean, I like to get free stuff, but it's not stuff that I'm not just turning around and paying for like 98% of the time. So if I'm window shopping on Whatnot, like every other stream is just someone sitting there chit-chatting with a crappy book in front of you, waiting on a 5-minute timer to roll down to get like, yo, like I like y'all to flip through some books and maybe hit something like, yo, I'm missing that. That's one of 2 issues of Transformers I'm missing that I can't find anywhere that I would grab, or something like that.
I just don't think Whatnot's the place for that. Really, it's really sort of a roll of the dice. Sort of,
Yeah.
there's an element of gaming to it. To me, like I go into a stream and they're showing different books. I'm like, oh, I might like this book. I don't know what it's worth, but they're placing it on at this price. And I think, well, is that worth it based on me just looking at it and the fact I have like 15 seconds to decide whether I want it? That's sort of
that's how they get you.
That's what I mean. I mean, that's on me as the consumer, but like that's sort of the operators of.
And I don't think the platform is inherently bad at all. I think it's a very good platform altogether. And it's just, it kind of just fosters a simple place for people to sell. So you get every aspect of it kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I think it's really effective. I've spent money there. It's just that I don't think it's a way to effectively shop, as it were. Yeah. Like you're essentially just, it's a crapshoot as to what you're going to get in that stream unless you really know the seller. And I don't mind that. Like it's part of the entertainment value because there is an element of entertainment in Whatnot as well. So
yeah, you're paying for
I don't come down on it as negative is sort of what I'm getting at. But at the same time, I realise that it's not really an effective way to buy comics, particularly unless you're really strict with what you buy. Yeah, and that comes down to the consumer at the end of the day.
But I think if you're doing like, I know Beckerman loves to get in to Rob Liefeld streams, which would work for me. Like if Tynan were to do a stream, that would work because I want everything he's selling, right? So like I'm going to be interested in most things that pops up, or a Jeff Lemire stream, or a Tom Taylor. Like my focus is talent based. So like if I could get into something like that, but a seller who's selling everything, I'm probably not going to care about 90% of what they're selling. And AR, that is an exactly correct description of Ready Player One. It is a wonderfully bad book. I will swear up and down the book is amazing. It's fun. It's awesome. But it's also true that it's wonderfully bad. Like there's lots of parts where it's like, oh my God, this is like the ending, how he gets out, like the whole plot of him getting out of that security at the end. It was just like so bad, but I love that book still. It's still so good. It's amazingly good. Short boxes in the living room. They're just taking up space. A lot of folks just end up taking them and wholesaling them. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm. And to Bleak's point, like I get that there's different parts of the hobby. People enjoy what you like about it, and let others what they like. Pretty simple, absolutely. And that's there's also like that's it's not that cut and dry. It's not like, again, that's the point of like people are told as they're coming into this hobby, the vast majority of people they find first are the ones telling you need to be selling comics. You need to make the hobby fund itself. You need to buy. It's the first introduction that I've seen from so many people over the last handful of years is the mindset of, for me to be in this hobby, I'm supposed to be selling books That like that's is like I'm just saying that's not mandatory to be a seller to be into comics. If you enjoy it, if you have the means, if it's something you're capable of, absolutely go for it. People like me need sellers. I'm in desperate need of good sellers because I buy comics, you know, and
Yeah.
but I think it's the mindset of thinking that it's mandatory or you're supposed to be doing it versus just if it is something you enjoy and want to do and are capable of, go for it for sure. But don't feel obligated like, oh, I have to do. That's how bad sellers are bred. And there is an aspect of the hobby that tells people to do that. And it's typically the people that are just getting into the hobby, finding those bigger platforms, those bigger channels, because they're the ones that are easily searchable. And that's kind of the content that they do. So I don't think they're intentionally preying on new collectors or anything like that. I think it's just a kind of a natural byproduct of how things are.
Damn, that's a big one, Norin. As a giveaway. Hopefully that worked out for you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hope you got your name etched in the halls of Valhalla for that.
Yeah, I need to get around to Ready Player One or Ready Player Two. I bought it, but then I never read it because my friend told me it was terrible and he just killed my motivation. But I do need to go read it myself. We got Flo in the house. What's up, Flo? Good to see you. Hoping to see you here in March for the 25th anniversary of Planet Comic Con. It's going to be a doozy. We got the Sons of Anarchy folks in the house. We've got the Boy Meets World folks, Topanga in the house. We've got
that's a lot of people's childhood crush right there, isn't it?
Oh, she's mine, dude. I absolutely.
I've never seen a single episode of that in my life.
And she still looks the same, bro. She looks the same. She is still amazingly gorgeous. I love me some Topanga. I would have named my daughter Topanga if my wife let me, but she wouldn't let me.
I love that show. I love all the wrestling references. It was amazing. They really sort of captured my imagination as a kid. It was a great show.
Yeah, I mean, good thing Comic Journey's not here because he got into it with Liefeld one time, and he's still upset about it. He's still very butthurt about it.
Oh yeah, CJ's really not happy with Liefeld.
Don't let Liefeld come up around him. Okay, you up 14-7. I like to see that. Let's go, baby. I love bad novels so much. Call me Tag. It's short for protagonist. My family is at war with wood people because we are cave people. I have no idea what he's talking about. I've been raiding the body problem. Hey, what up, Steve? Thanks for coming through to FOC and chill. Good to see you, homie. Selling is what you explain you're doing when your family sends a social worker to confront your hoarding. That's what it is, you know. At some point, it absolutely becomes hoarding. You know, and that's what I'm trying to get away. That's one of the big reasons where I was like, all right, I gotta stop buying so many comics because 95% of these comics are going to be worth less than $1 a year from now.
For sure.
I can't buy a bunch of these.
I've been thinking a lot about trying to focus my collection a little bit more because part of the issue I have with my channel is it's a purely unboxing channel, and I love unboxing. I love watching unboxings and I love doing unboxings. But the trouble is that means that I'm just buying random stuff quite often to unbox, and ultimately in my collection I want to be a little bit more focused. So it's a weird sort of space I've got to work out because I want variety, but at the same time, I'd quite like to want to keep it as well. It's one of those.
Yeah, that was what I started in 2022 was being way more focused in not buying things because I think other people would think it was worth more than what it was selling for, and just really focusing on buying things that I'm obsessed with. That's led to buying a lot less comics. And the other thing was not buying a lot less new DC and Marvel books. I still buy new indie, but new DC and Marvel. I will still buy a new DC or Marvel, but You got to convince me. You got to have
I,
the right
I
writer.
buy new DC quite often without sight unseen because I just generally like DC. But Marvel, like if it isn't Miles or Incredible Hulk at the moment, I'm just sort of a bit.
It's about the writer. I follow writers, so I'm on Action. I was on, yeah. Actually, I'm still on it, but I bought Action Comics because Philip K. Johnson is awesome.
Last issue came out today.
Yeah, I see
Big sad.
a lot of people are loving it, sad, but saying it was great.
Yeah, everyone's giving him proper thank yous. Like every time I mentioned it in the past couple of weeks, I like found myself stopping to say thank you to a guy who's not even watching my channel. You know what I mean? Like, thanks for saving Superman.
Those vibes go out into the world. It all matters. I think that energy flows out and it reaches him eventually. But yeah, that's how I don't focus on the hype or anything, or even characters so much. I focus on writers.
There's some characters that I'm good, bad, or ugly. I'm riding out with, Hulk, Ghost Rider, Superman. Like there's a lot of DC books that like the run's not going to break. Like I'm gonna suffer through Flash through this Cy Spurrier run until the next thing gets here, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to have a hole in my run because the story takes a dip,
What's a book that I'm collecting through thick and I mean, Something's Killing the Children. Even if it gets terrible, I'll still collect it.
Yeah, you'll wait for it to get better again, knowing it will. As long as it keeps going, it'll come back up no matter what.
I wonder, is there anything else?
Spider-Man, God, I feel so bad for the Spider-Man completionists. People feel that way about Spider-Man that I do about numerous characters because they've been being drugged for years now, absolutely years. Like where they're unanimously like, I love the character, I'm not leaving him, but man, this isn't what none of us want.
I remember I came in with a Nick Spencer runner, and I was like, "Oh, guys, come on! It can't be that bad. Let me get these books. It's not, comic book bros are overreacting as they do, but no, they weren't. It was bad, dude. It was like issue after issue. I was like, okay, man, it's really not getting better. This is not working for me. And even into the
problem with it is it's just been so long at this point.
I think they need to let him grow up and get married and do all that. Like what they're doing in Spider-Verse where he's married and has a kid. Like let him grow up and that'll be new things. It'd be a new perspective for him, a new spot.
And it's like they acknowledged it in their own way that like, all right, we finally get it. No one's liking Spider-Man, but they're not going to correct it in the title.
No, that's what the Ultimate version's about, isn't it? Yeah, it's about saying like we want to double dip you to get a decent Spider-Man because we know you're going to keep buying ASM if you keep buying ASM. Yeah. But now you come over here, you get the Spider-Man you want to read. Yeah, it's rude.
I do see people like the Ultimate Universe. I haven't been into it myself.
Well, they're just starting to bring it back. If I would definitely highly recommend picking up some of the trades. Like, I mean, it's legitimately good. Like, I remember reading through it as it was coming out for the most part. Like Spider-Man, FF, X-Men. The events were fantastic. The Ultimates is amazing. I mean, you got like Bendis in his prime. Like, why people were so excited for Bendis to come over to Superman years ago was because of how much people liked what he did with the Ultimate stuff and everything. And Mark Miller, before he did Millerverse, was doing a lot of Ultimates work and stuff. People in
the way that I read, I really prefer to read in the trade format. So I stack a lot of my books, and instead of reading them week to week,
unless it's Murder Falcon.
I've read Murder Falcon. I just need to get it sent to Alan. He was supposed to send it to me. He was supposed to send me something, and then I was going to get his address and send it to him, but I never got that thing. I haven't heard. Actually, I haven't really.
So I'm with you. I'm going to blame Alan as well.
Yeah, I'm with blaming Alan. But I prefer. So it'd really be smarter for me to collect trades. But I just enjoy the week-to-week single stuff, man. It's fun. I don't want to stop collecting that way, even though it's probably not the best way to do it. It's the best way for me anyway. It's more fun. I remember when I first started and I had probably 2 short boxes from my childhood. And actually probably one. No, it was 2 short boxes from my childhood. And then I had like a short box of modern books that I was starting. And I remember I was just having thoughts of having short boxes of comics and just thinking that would be so cool.
And it turns out it was.
It's very cool. I love it. Like, there's something about, like, I just love like a big stack of comics in my hand, man. That's just like, it feels good, man.
I like the comic that you have in your hand.
I know I've got, this is my to read pile. I have not read it yet, but this is in my to read. Also, I started this one, but this is in my to read. I'm on like 4 or 5 on this one.
Yeah, that gets incredibly exceptional. You get to like,
the story was
it's
kind of
pretty-
cheesy.
it's pretty solid going through, but it kind of feels like it's being a little too vast for what it is. But then you get to like 6 or 7, then all of a sudden, all of the stuff that you just did weaves into this like beautiful play out for the rest of it.
So okay, because I'm iffy about it right now, but I think I'm only,
because it's kind of weird being on this other planet that's like so similar to back home, and it's all for a reason. Like that you don't stay there. You kind of just you have to be introduced to that for the rest of it.
well, I collected the whole thing, so I'm definitely going to finish it.
Christopher
but- and
Priest is a really good writer.
I'm pumped to catch up on the Geigerverse because I haven't. There's a bunch I haven't read on. I haven't run the 80-page one. I was wanting to save it.
I just got another copy of that in like yesterday, or opened it Wednesday, I think.
It's really great.
I'm off all week.
Fire. I'm really excited for
I
it.
had to buy that cover too. As they go ahead and get the B. Ooh, I don't have that one though. Definitely just showed that one. Ghost Machine. Is it gonna get optioned into the hot lists? Is it
Dude, it is my
list?
hot list. Ghost Machine is my hot list. If you ask me what's on the hot list, there's the like 8 sign.
Ooh, you
8
got
times
that.
sign over.
Nice. I hadn't seen that one. I like that cover.
Yeah, and I've got more NYCC exclusives they did in a box of mail over there somewhere.
Oh, what's up, Beckerman? Merry Christmas.
We have MegaCon coming up, so hopefully now that we'll be getting a lot closer to other stuff from Ghost Machine releasing by then and everything, and we have Ivan Rees on board now and also kind of stuff like that. Maybe we'll get some cool stuff to chase at MegaCon. You know, if you're into it, you know, chase for collecting purposes.
Yeah, I feel you, Jamie. And what's up, Jamie? Thanks for coming through, homie. Appreciate you. And I agree. Yeah, I think that's the natural progression for Peter Parker. Is the progression that we see in the movies, the Spider-Verse movies. I think that the role that Peter Parker plays in that is really fun and interesting. And yeah, I'd like to see it in the comics for sure. Let them grow up, man. Let them grow. Especially the people.
I don't know about letting them necessarily grow up. Like, I don't want to see them like old and all that. But I mean, they've done like Superman.
I want to see him be a dad. I was about
to say, if you look at Superman, like if you just take Superman out of Action Comics and look at him, and you take Superman of 40 years ago and look at him, he's the same guy. You know, he hasn't gotten any older. He hasn't really changed. He still has the same morals, principles, goals, like outlook on the world, the way he tries to handle everything. But he's got John now. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to age the character to add something to the character. But I feel you on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't make him an old man, but I mean age him in terms of his life, in terms of his concerns, in terms of like, you know, because that's when you become a parent, it ages you. No matter how old you are, it ages you.
And you get so many cool stories, and they've done so many different things with like miniseries and what ifs and stuff with Peter having kids, or we've done like Earth X, where you know like he has May and stuff. So like there's no reason in the world that like main continuity Peter should not have May by now.
Exactly.
None.
Exactly. And let him and Mary Jane be together. Let them have their, let them deal with the couple stuff and the married stuff.
I think that's part of the problem with ASM. It's been treated quite a lot like a soap opera, and it's a bit like, because you can do these things with a character, like break up a perfectly happy couple that people want to actually read. They think, well, they should because you can do it, and it's like inevitable to them that that would happen. But the reality is that that's not the case. A lot of people don't get divorced, but a lot of people do.
Most
But
people
you've done
do.
that, so let's rewind it instead of like driving it down the throats of the fandom. And I don't really particularly care myself because I'm not reading it. Like I've heard it's rubbish, so I'm not reading it. But there are loads of people that really care, and I find that really hard. That Marvel must know that there are a lot of people unhappy with ASM, and they just don't seem to care.
To add on
Well, I
top
think
of that thought, what do you think that like does to like the character, the stereotype of a superhero? Like you said, like a lot of people split up, but a lot of people don't. Like, do you think that some of these more iconic characters like Superman or Spider-Man really need to be like the stoic beacon example type thing, or do you want to see them suffering as like the 50 percentile that doesn't make it, or showing you how like you can be the 50 percentile that does make it? Do you want to see these characters?
Yeah, exactly. I think in theory, if you're a superhero, you probably should try and represent the
pinnacle,
the better aspects of like.
Yeah.
So going down the negative road,
looking down at our idols. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Well, it's like in Into the Spider-Verse when we meet Peter, he's like the fat, out of shape loser Peter, and that does work, like in the context of that movie. But it isn't the Peter Parker that like I necessarily would want to read forever, like in a comic.
we want to see him get his shit together.
I want him to be the best Peter Parker that he can be. And I understand that he can fail, just like everybody else, because they want to try and make him as three-dimensional as possible. But he still has to ultimately win.
Yeah, there's
and ultimately be the best.
Difference between failing and being a failure.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and you know, letting him grow up and letting him have a kid is not necessarily the only answer to fixing Spider-Man. There's other answers, but it's one of them. You know, it's definitely not the only one. There's a ton of things they could do, I'm sure, but they just got to figure it out and figure out what to be. I have no idea because I'm not creative like that.
Yeah, that's why we're not writers.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know that he can't be the guy that he is today and it be good. I think it can be. I'm just not the writer to do it, and I don't know that they have the writer to do it, because or else they would.
How much it's the writer and how much it's editorial. Because
yeah, maybe. Yeah,
we're quick to blame the writers, and I think rightfully so. Because I mean, you can find a different story to tell inside of the parameters where you're not reminding the readers of, hey, look, he sucks at his dating life. He sucks like with his relationship with Mary Jane. Like, why aren't we telling a story that's so busy with other stuff that we're not thinking about that? But I wonder how much editorial doesn't want that to go in that direction.
It is a good point. Whenever a movie comes out and it is not what we want it to be, there'll be a lot of shade thrown on the directors and then the executive producers. So it's really it could well be the writers in the first place, you know, like there's many different people that can be to blame, but I guess when I say writers, I mean it as everybody involved, you know.
I definitely think it comes down to the writers, and a prime example, and it made me just think of this, is working inside of someone else's parameters. You look at Hasbro, who put massive restrictions and parameters on Image Skybound and Daniel Warren Johnson. You said you can't kill people on screen, and that creative son of a bitch who's leaps and bounds on light years ahead of most other people in the industry just wrote the most R-rated violent take of Transformers without breaking any of those parameters. According to Hasbro, you cannot write an R-rated violent take on Transformers. He's like, no problem, give me the parameters, and then he did it going around the parameters. Like, that's the difference between talent. A lot of the people that are in the industry do not have the raw talent that we grew up with. Like people might upset people or not, but it's just the record speaks for itself. Because when you have
back in my day, let me tell you.
well, I'm saying when you have people like Daniel Warren Johnson doing it, when you have people like Philip Kennedy Johnson or a Ram V, these writers that just stand out leaps and bounds ahead of the rest that work under the same editorial parameters, that you're still like, it just like, why aren't the other people on par? Why is this allowed? Why is this? How does this get checked off on and sent to print?
I think it's about an understanding of the IP as well, like which maybe they don't have with Spider-Man anymore. Like Daniel Warren Johnson clearly understands Transformers.
Yeah, he's a fanboy.
Yeah, and he understands how to manipulate the audience, which we've already seen in the other.
He's always known how to do that. Yeah.
Like maybe the ASM writers they keep getting in, like fundamentally don't understand how to write Spider-Man anymore, or like who Spider-Man is or what. And the fans still remember, but if the writers don't remember, then that is a problem.
It's like when John Ridley wrote Superman or started writing for DC, and you're like, yo, what is this guy doing? He's a critically acclaimed Academy Award-winning writer for cinema, and now he's writing comic books, and he's absolutely bastardizing everything he's writing. And it's not a matter of quality of penmanship or your grammatical stuff. Like you have an anti-understanding of these characters that you're writing, so much so that it's not even just foreign, it's offensive what you're having them do. Because it's not even like it's off color for the characters. It's not the characters altogether. This is like some bizarro Superman shit you're doing. Like when the director of Echo said, "Yeah, I read the Echo books, hated them. We're gonna do it different." Like what?
Yeah.
What? I'm not saying you're not gonna make a good show, but that's cause for caution for most people. Like it's weird.
Let's start with someone like Daniel Warren Johnson, who understands the lore, loves the lore, appreciates the lore of the IP, and knows how to build upon it, rather than someone who looks at it and says this is trash.
Yeah. I mean, it's the old Kevin Smith story about what's his name, John, the producer that wanted Superman to never fly or be in the suit and then fight a giant spider in the third act. Like, I remember. Like he didn't want to do the stuff that makes Superman Superman, and felt like his take would be better because, well, he knows everything. Being a rich white guy, you can't
tell the people it's Superman and then not give them Superman. You can't. That's not the formula for success.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That was my problem with Blue Beetle. The way that I thought that Blue Beetle was dumb was the way in which his family, like the scene where his dad died. He was a complete idiot, and I hated him. I absolutely hated him.
What did he do that stood out for you?
When he comes in and the lady says, "Oh, look at the suit, shoot his family," and so she can see the suit, protect his family. And then he's like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt anyone." No, dude, they all shot your family with no hesitation. Kill every last one of them. And if he had just killed every last one of them,
you wanted him to be a murderer.
Yeah, if it's not about murdering, it's about I'm in.
That's why I said you want a Punisher, just justified homicide.
Well, it's a matter of if it's either. Yeah, if my family's on the line and it's either kill or be killed, and if you're deciding to let my family die rather than kill, yeah, I don't respect that decision at all.
I have still not seen Blue Beetle, but if I had seen Blue Beetle and that had happened in it, I'm not sure I would be a fan of it. Just because
that didn't stand out to me, I guess, because
I didn't respect it. I just didn't have
the capability of his suit. He didn't sit there and allow it. He went ham on those folks. Like that's when he first pulled out the guns, and like I thought that he turned up on him in that moment.
And then right, he's getting ready to shoot the dude that's getting ready to shoot him and take him in. But rather than finishing the job, he looks at his dad, who's already dying, and says, "Oh, I'm not going to save myself," and gets captured. It's like, I like that whole sequence made me hate him. And
I'd
I
have to
couldn't
watch
stop
it
hating
again.
him.
That didn't stand out.
I
to
couldn't.
me.
I couldn't stop hating him the rest of the movie because I was like, you're a complete idiot.
I
Like,
do keep meaning to
this is
watch this
not-
movie. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm
I
going to watch
still
it.
like the movie.
It's gonna happen.
And he had to be an idiot to set up the whole premise of the movie of his family as commandos. Like it was all part of like how it had to go. But like it just made me because I couldn't relate to it. And you're right. I did want him to be. I wanted him to be me, and me would have murdered
Yeah.
every single last.
Yeah, that's
fucking
fair
one.
enough. I'd like to think that I would do the same thing if I had that suit. There wouldn't
Yeah,
have been
I would have.
there wouldn't
I
have been
would
a
have
breathing
been-
body on the property. Like I
I
would have been
ruthless-
screaming, "Stand your ground!"
yeah, I would have been a hardcore Republican. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Everybody's
2A
dead.
on them hardcore, huh?
Yeah, yeah, dude, all the way. So that and maybe I'm being unfair, but like I was
Well,
watching that
that's
movie
a
with my
super fair
brother.
assumption. Like you said, that's how you feel, and I think that that's important now. Like this kind of goes back to what we mentioned earlier about Spider-Man. I think it's important for these people to be better than us. They're fictitious, so on in sense of it being fiction, it's easy to write them better than we would be, and sometimes that's going to be uncomfortable.
I don't think that I don't see, but I fundamentally agree that what he was better than what I would be. He was not better than what I would be.
I feel like often everybody's really good at the super part of superhero, but being a hero is really important to my engagement. Like I like that they can do amazing stuff, but like I need them to be better than like me or what I would do in that situation. So
the only way that works is if you do all that and you still save everything, or you do all that and you don't get captured. But if your family dies because you did that,
No, well, like
I can't relate. I
unfortunately,
can't
to
relate
spoil
to
it, Dr. Von Hoot, he saved his entire family from getting shot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
His father,
I don't want to.
his father had a completely unrelated heart attack. They set up early in the movie.
Well, I mean, it
that-
wasn't unrelated. But
well, I'm saying like Jaime successfully saved his family from the attack from the people. He did,
But
he
he
did
did not
without killing
successfully save
anyone.
himself.
His father, on the other hand, had a pre-existing heart condition that was introduced earlier in the film that he had an onset at the time of the thing happening. So Jaime did play the hero. He did do it without killing people. And the whole like arc of his character from getting the suit and being who he is was the suit is built to kill. It's a suit of planetary destruction. And he's trying to teach it that we are not killers. So that's like an ongoing thing through the movie. And so like that, you know, he's not a killer.
That was my other problem. And I overall I liked the movie, but that was my other problem with the movie is that like they introduced this amazing suit and like you just want to see this thing go. And you don't get to see, and I want to see this thing go, man. And you don't get to see it go. So his
watch and learn, Jaime. Like when it just beast moded Carapax.
I was like, okay, let this thing go. And that went and that was my thing. It was like, all right, they're trying to kill your family. Let this thing loose. Let's go. You know, that's what I wanted. You know,
yeah. But it was a great arc though because you had Jaime who's trying to teach this sentient alien entity.
No, the way they brought it together. I don't want to spoil anything, but yes, the way they brought it together at the end.
At the end, like I'm going to spoil it because I'm.
It's fine. I'm all good
by the end of it, Jaime thinks that him trying to do things his way cost the life of a family member. So when he's face to face with Carapax, he turns off. He's like, I'm done.
He turns into me.
he turns into straight up Marcus, and not just like I'm going to kill him and be done. No, like I'm about to let him know he's about to die. Like, and it's the suit that stops Jaime, and he's pushing against the suit, trying to stab this dude in the face who's laying on the ground beaten. And then the suit repeats his own words back and was like, "We are not killers, Jaime." And the suit has to take him down off the ledge. So it was. I think that scene that he points out, like, yeah, like we would love to just kill anyone trying to kill our family. But man, it played out perfectly from him trying to teach the suit to him like having a moment of success with failure embedded into it, and then him leaning into what he's not supposed to be in the suit, having learned and is now saving him from himself. Like it was a damn good movie for as goofy as it was. Man.
And you're making me realize that my real problem with that scene was not that he wouldn't kill anyone. My problem was what he did to get captured in that scene. That's really what my
you got grabbed by a helicopter claw, my dude. What just happened?
Well, a helicopter claw that you were just pointing at, you know,
Yeah.
you were just there gonna stop it from. Yeah, I guess that was my. It wasn't that he didn't kill anyone. It was that.
Yeah, it was they like we gotta capture this dude. Well, how do we capture him? I don't know. Fuck it. Just write a helicopter claw in there.
Yeah. That part didn't work.
4 o'clock in the morning in like 20 minutes, and I'll be damned if you haven't got me hyped enough to watch it right now. That's really annoying.
Yeah,
I've got stuff to do tomorrow, and I'm thinking, oh, I could watch that. That sounds fun.
I got to tell you, like a great part of it for me was definitely the experience. I've learned the cheat code to liking bad movies is you take your little kids with you.
Well, that was a movie. That was a movie for kids too. So yeah.
Well, I've bought it since then. I got it for Finn for his birthday. They've watched it on repeat, and it's really fun on the rewatch. It's one of those ones that you can step into at any point during it if you've seen it and enjoy it from where you're at, kind of thing, or sit down and just rewatch it.
I mean, you have to suspend disbelief. Absolutely, it's a requirement. But George Lopez is funny.
Oh shit, yeah. Uncle Rudy for the win.
Yeah. So I watched it with my little brother over Thanksgiving. We we both gave it a 3 out of 5. So it was worth it. We didn't hate the time we spent,
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting, like a 3.
And that suit, and when they show you the suit, like the whole movie, and that was part of the letdown of the movie. Was like the whole movie, you want to see the suit rock and roll, man. You want to see this thing go because it just looks so cool and dope right from the start. And you don't really get to see it go like you want to ever. But that's for the next movie, I guess. We're over an hour, and I know it's super late for you, DVH. What's up with you? What's going on?
Because of me. Don't worry about it. I've got stuff to do tomorrow, but I'm in theory on vacation right now, so it doesn't really matter.
Me too, buddy. Me too. What's going on your channel, though? Link's going in the chat right now.
Okay. Well, I'm only 2 subscribers away from 300, and we'll have a giveaway of some kind once we hit the 300 mark, because that's always fun. I'm on Gary B's show on Thursday. I think Frogboy was on, so I'm one of the co-hosts on Thursday there.
Nice.
And we'll have a video up on Friday. I would think it'll be another unboxing of a thing because that's what I do. Yeah. All good.
So check that out. Link is in the chat, highlighted right now. Check out my homie, Dr. Von Hoot. And hey, let's get to 300. Let's get that giveaway going. I want some free stuff. So if you're not subbed to my man, get subbed up so that we can get this giveaway going. What's up, Legion? Thanks for jumping on, brother. What you got going on your channel? Link is in the chat.
I've got the Legion Lair live stream Friday morning. Come by, hang out, hop on if you're free, if you want to, just kind of chatting it up. Open to anybody who's not going to show their dick on camera, pretty much. And then Sunday night, it's the final episode of At Week's End for the year. So it's the annual At Year's End special where we'll be spoiling the entire year in review of comics, movies, news, shows, and all that. We're going to be hitting our best of top 3s in all kinds of different categories. There ain't no point in wasting time on the worst of the year when there's so much good stuff to highlight and talk about. So if you got your top 3 comics, movies, shows, news, collectibles, pickups, whatever, come by, hang out. Let's go out with a bang. 2023 is done.
Here to that. I am much more interested to hear about what you love. I think Americans spend too much time on the stuff they hate. And I realized that was one of my biggest problems.
Did you just assume my nationality?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you just assume my nationality?
I did.
Well, you assumed correct, good sir.
Well, not you specifically, just in general. I think we spend too much time on the things that we hate, i.e. politics. And
there's a time and place for it, but not Sunday night at 8:30.
Well, there's no time and no place for it, but I'm old now. I'm too old for that shit. But that is Legion of Comics. Definitely check it out. We are Legion, and look for the big giveaway.
I was about to say there's only 4 more days to enter the Hulk 180 event. The first appearance of Wolverine in the CGC 8.0. The event, it's a December-January event, but you have to start participating in December to be eligible for the event. It's pinned at the top of my YouTube page. If you like the first appearance of Wolverine, which I think it's on the top 10 list. Is that a Comic Tom book?
I think it might be on there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you should be good. It should be good to chase after.
I think the problem is I've sort of already decided that I'm winning that. So
I think Marcus said he was.
Good luck, buddy.
Oh.
I think a lot of us have already claimed it.
Yeah, if you like Incredible Hulk 180, if you like Wolverine, you're going to want to at least check out this short video pinned to the top of my page. You definitely want to. You don't want to miss out on it. This only happens about once a year, something like this. Me and DJ Links come together like butt cheeks, put our heads together, and try to put on something special.
What was it last time? It was like a PS5 or something last time?
No. It was an Ultimate Fallout 4 and a CGC 9.6. And because from the time of us purchasing that to the time of running the event, we're like, yo, dude, never again. So we're like, dude, we're going blue chip. So we were thinking of like first Punisher versus we wanted something topical, something that everyone would appreciate, whether like they're a Hulk collector or not. You're going to want something as key as the first appearance of Wolverine. You know, if you're not a Wolverine fan, you'll be happy to receive a book that's FMV is well over $1,000 because you can sell it and get whatever you want, you know. So we wanted something that will not depreciate ever. And with the market being low this year, it's only going to go up.
Sky's the limit. And yes,
it's a good book to give away. It's actually a lot more plentiful than people think.
Yeah, I wish I would have got that UF4, Phil. Wish it would have been me, buddy. That was a crazy giveaway. But definitely plug in, and then if you link up with DJ Links, give yourself even more chances to win. So link to DJ Links is in the chat as well. And time is running out. Like he said, December 31st, you've got to be plugged in December to be eligible. So definitely get in on that. And also, DVH almost to 300. So let's get him to 300, man. That's one of the great members of this community. We just need 2 of you to do it. Come on, man. We can do that, right? Come on. And this has been another episode of FOC and Chill, man. I never know what's going to happen each week, if anybody's even going to be here. So it's always nice to know that you guys come through and say what's up. So I really appreciate it, man. That's all I got this week. This is the end of the year, huh? So next time we'll see, it'll be 2024. And can we start saying 2024 instead of 2000? Like, at what point are we going to stop saying 2000? Are we going to say 2090? Or do we have to wait till 2100 to stop saying 2000?
You might say 2090. I think I'll never get the opportunity.
I mean, with cybernetics and whatnot, you know, I think I've seen on the internet someone argue that we're already cyborgs with our cell phones.
I thought you were making a Talladega Nights reference. Like with modern technology, you know, I just read where they put a pig's heart in a man. Oh, wow.
I've been thinking about
he died.
My question is, at what point are people going to start referring to the 2020s as the 20s? Because that'll screw me up. Like, if I'm alive for that, that'll be weird.
Oh, man. Yeah, they already referred to the 1900s, which is not fun for me.
Yeah, that's weird.
You were born in the 1900s, were you? Yeah, I guess I was. Damn,
we're some of those turn of the century folks.
Old
as
shit.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming through, everybody, man. I appreciate it. Till next time. Peace.